Hello, my sunshine, and welcome to a new episode of the Hot Girl Morning Podcast. I'm so excited and so grateful to have you here. And let's start this episode by telling you Happy New Year. I hope you had a beautiful start to the year. And I thought, as the first episode for 2025, I want to do kind of like a new year, new me, setting intentions, rewriting your story kind of episode. But don't be worried. This is not going to be a this is what you need to do and this is what you stop needing to do. And like, it's going to be a gentle episode. And it's also going to be for the ones who maybe had a little bit of a more difficult year of 2024 and you are not in the full motivation mode of doing all that, but this is going to be for all the ones like who need kind of like this gentle, beautiful, intentional start to the new year, because this is what this is going to be. If you don't know, my name is Greta. I'm an accountability and empowerment coach, and on this podcast, I talk about all things personal growth, mindfulness, self-love, manifesting your dreams, and becoming the best version of yourself. So if any of these topics sound interesting to you, make sure to follow this podcast, rate it 5 stars, and maybe send it to a friend if you think they would benefit from this episode. But let's get right into today's episode. First of all, these last 2 weeks, I was taking time off work, which was honestly really, really necessary. And I don't know how it was with you. These 2 weeks were not just laying around, relaxing, doing nothing, like Christmas, New Year's. Like, this is always a lot of time like with family and doing stuff. And honestly, these 2 weeks were really beautiful, but also really intense, with a lot of family time, a lot of time like with my nephews, but also with my partner. And then I got the stomach flu, which was not so nice. So I thought that I would be able to really enjoy my holidays, but no, I of course needed to get the stomach flu, but I am better now. I am back. But especially these last couple of days, I got to the state again where I was just like, okay, I miss my podcast, I miss my business, and I am so excited to get back. And in general, I feel like these weeks are always a perfect time for reflection, a perfect time to look inwards, to think about the life that you have created for yourself and the life that you want to create for yourself. And if I'm being really honest, the start to my year was not the way I expected it. Like the morning of January 1st, 2025, I was actually in a state of actually being a little bit sad. It was like I was reflecting about the past year, and of course I recognized so many things that happened in my life that were amazing and how I got to my goals, and so many things happened of what I was dreaming about. But there were also some things that worked out differently or that didn't work out. And if I'm being honest, I was a bit disappointed with myself. In some ways, I hoped I would be further along. In some ways, I was not where I was dreaming about. And I was just not feeling the way that I wanted to feel. A big part of that was, of course, the passing of my grandma. And I feel like, especially around Christmas time, like this is where the grief and all these feelings are coming up more. So I don't know in what situation you're in. Maybe 2024 was your best freaking year. Then you go you. I'm so proud of you. But just know that you are not alone if you have been struggling this last year, or if you have been struggling to start the new year like with a lot of motivation. And we're not going to force ourselves to do something that we don't feel like doing. But one really beautiful thing that I started doing in these holidays or Christmas days and whatever you want to call it is I felt the big urge to be more creative and do something more creative. So I taught myself how to crochet. Like, honestly, like if you're watching the video version of the podcast right now, like yesterday I completed my first hat. I don't know if you're able to see it. It is not perfect at all, but I don't know. I'm proud of myself for just doing that. And as I was going for a walk yesterday, I was thinking about like, in a way, how confusing I am as a personality, like with I love to crochet. Like, I did so much freaking amazing cooking these days, and there are people out there, or I feel like the world is creating this feeling on you that you have to have this one thing that you are super passionate and super talented about, and this is what your life is about. And on the other hand, there exists people like me that are not like that at all. Like, I love the process of trying new things. I love to crochet. I love to learn about society. I love to learn about like how to create more justice in the world. I love to have deep conversations with friends. I love to have girls' dinner. I love to go on hikes. I love so many different things. I am not just one box and that's all that I am. I am so much more. And I have realized these days I'm a little bit of granola girl. I'm a hiking girl, nature girl. I'm a girl's girl. I am also a business girl. Like, there are just so many parts to myself, and I am so exhausted from trying to fit myself only into one box and thinking there has to be this one thing that is me. But what if I could be so much more than that? What if I could embrace all different parts of myself? And all these thoughts basically gathered together and got me to this point today of recording this episode. So this is for anyone out there who needs like a gentle start to the year, who has a lot of passions and is sometimes struggling to go for their dreams. And you're sometimes struggling with setting the goals because in a couple of months you have different goals and it's hard to just stick to one thing. So this is going to be for you. What we're also going to do in this episode, I'm going to give you a couple of journal prompts that will kind of help you figure out like that new year, new me. But I know there's a lot of controversy also around that new year, new me. Of course, you're not going to be, or you have always the potential to change the identity for yourself. You have always the potential to change the direction of your life. But you do not need the switch of the number of the year to like make that happen. I just want to make that very, very clear. And if you do not feel like you're in the energy right now, or you don't have the capacity to change and to do what is necessary, like to get to the other side, then that is okay. Then that is okay, because this year is going to be your year. And sometimes this being your year doesn't mean boom, bam, done, let's kick it, let's go. Maybe sometimes that means, okay, I need to calm down. I need to calm my nervous system. I need to figure out what I want. And yeah, so what I'm trying to say, this is about you. And this is about figuring out what is best for you. So what we're going to do to start by everything is we're going to let go of perfection. This is not about perfection. This year is not about perfection, but this is about messy action towards your dreams. This is about everything. This is about listening to yourself. This is about so much more. This is about allowing yourself to feel all the feelings. So let's take a step back. First of all, so much of who you are is based on what you think about yourself and the stories that you have been telling yourself. Maybe you had certain experiences in your past. People told you something about you that this is the way you are. And through time, your brain kind of realized, okay, this is Greta. This is how she looks like. This is what she does. And then you get to the point where you act out of that. This is what you know about yourself. Having this realization is already so powerful, because it is not like you are born a certain way and the way you're born decides everything regarding your path. But you also have the power to change what is going on internally. So how does transformation happen? The thing that creates transformation is what are the beliefs that you have and what are the things that you're actually doing. And through doing the things over and over and over, you kind of create a reality for yourself. But what if you wanted to change something? It is about changing something that is going on in your mind, changing your mindset, changing your thoughts, which will then change the reality for you. But the truth is, there exist so many different parts of yourself at the same time. And sometimes we focus on one characteristic or just one way of our being. But we have the power to kind of choose how we're acting, to choose how we are showing up. So as I mentioned before, I have like 3 journal prompts for you today that I want you to ask yourself that will kind of help you to see that new year, new me, who am I right now? Who do I want to become? Because this is something that is so important to know about yourself. So the first question that I want you to ask yourself right now is, who do you want to be and how do you want to feel? Simple as that. You get to create your own reality. So you get to also choose your reality. So first we have to gather that awareness of, well, who do I want to be? Like, how do I want to feel? If we don't have that first kind of realization of where we want to go, there's no way or only little way of getting there. Like, there's no direct way of getting there if we don't know where we want to be or get or whatever you want to call it. So think about this question in your heart right now. I want you to take a deep breath and think about, who do you want to be? Like, who do you want to be and how do you want to feel? Do you want to be compassionate, loving, confident, sensitive, full of emotions? Who do you want to be? And there is a mistake that often happens to us, to humans, is that whenever you show a certain behavior, you're giving yourself the identity of that behavior. Just because you have moments of anxiety or fear doesn't mean that anxiety is defining you and that you are anxiety. So I want you also to be mindful of that. So think about, who do you want to be? And one of the most important questions, if you have been following this podcast for a while, is, how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel? I know this sounds maybe a little bit weird to some people who are new to all of this, but you have the power to create whatever you feel or feeling you want. Like, you have the power right now in this moment, to create a different feeling within your body, to create a different feeling within your mind. So how do you want to feel? I want to feel connected. I want to feel calm. I want to feel peaceful. I want to feel grateful. I want to feel full of love. I want to allow myself to feel all the emotions. I want to allow myself to be sad right now. I want to allow myself to get that anger out of my system right now. I don't know what you want, but this is just really get into this feeling. Like, who do you want to be? How do you want to feel? Because you get to decide that. It is you who gets to decide that. I want you to be the most authentic version of yourself. I want you to see how freaking beautiful you are inside and out. I want you to see the potential that you have. I want you to see that you can get anywhere you want. I want you to see that you make the world a better place. So who do you want to be? How do you want to feel? Honestly, the most powerful way to answer these questions is actually by writing them down as well. Like, you can maybe first just think about it, reflect about it, have a conversation with a friend about it, whatever it is. But what I want you to ultimately do as well is write these things down. Because through writing them down, you're confirming once again the person that you want to become and how you want to feel, and that feeling that you are manifesting every single day into your life. Because that is the beautiful thing. Like, you can create this feeling every single day. And imagine if you would create this feeling every single day, how differently you would act in the world, if you would feel differently as well, you know? So if right now is not the right space and you're just thinking about it, amazing. But afterwards, try to take a couple of minutes for you to get inward again and to answer these questions also by writing them down. Because this is just so powerful. So who do you want to be and how do you want to feel? The next question that I want you to think about is, what current beliefs and habits are holding you back, and what are new ones that you could create to get closer to your ideal self? So what about your current life is holding you back from getting to that feeling, from getting to the person that you want to be? What is it that is holding you back? It is maybe the addiction to your phone. Is it maybe the fact that you don't allow yourself to share what you need and what you want from others? Is it maybe that you're too afraid to share your voice and to share what you believe in? Is it maybe that you're right now in studies that you don't really like and that actually are not where you're supposed to be? What are beliefs? And you can even also think about behaviors. And what are other habits that are currently holding you back? One thing that I realized in 2024 was that actually my relationship to social media was not the best. Like, I needed now some time to delete social media because it wasn't doing any good for me. Because I think there's actually a way to use social media where it benefits you. But I personally got to the point where I realized, okay, this is driving me nuts. I am comparing myself to other people's lives. And instead of living my life, I'm watching other people live their life. So what is it for you? What is holding you back? What behaviors are holding you back? What habits are holding you back? And what are some things that you could change? And some behaviors or some habits that you could create for yourself, and some beliefs that would get you closer to that version of yourself that you want to become. If you are struggling to find these habits, whatever you want to call them, I had an episode about that a couple of episodes ago. It was, I think, about unique habits you can do to get closer to your dream life. I will link it down in the show notes, because I actually believe that these habits are so powerful, and they don't take a lot of time, and it really goes into that whole philosophy of creating a feeling and creating kind of that space for yourself to look within and to realize what you need and create this feeling, instead of just, okay, this is about, I need to meditate for an hour every single day, I need to go to the gym. It is way more, let's create a feeling. So if this sounds interesting to you, just look down on the show notes. I will link the episode right there. Okay, so I guess we're done with reflecting about the second question. Here's question number 3. If you were already living your dream life right now, how would you act, think, and show up today? Honestly, this question is so powerful, because it honestly boils down to this: to basically, before becoming this new version of yourself, this better version of yourself, it is about recognizing, okay, who is this person? How does she feel? What habits does she do? How does she spend her time? And truly, already right now, even though that in your material world, you're maybe not living your future ideal life yet, that you are already living it, living it, feeling it, breathing it. So how would they act? How would they think? How would they show up today? This doesn't mean toxic positivity. My higher self is not happy 24/7. My higher self is allowing herself to feel the emotions. My higher self makes it a priority to create space to listen within and to connect with herself every single day. My higher self is showing herself love. So whatever it is for you, I want you to think about, okay, how would this higher self in your scenario, in your own life, like how would they act? Do you struggle with some relationships in your life right now? Would this version of yourself maybe have a conversation with them and share honestly what's going on? How would they act? How would they think? What is currently going on in your mind that your higher self probably wouldn't do? So let's say currently what you're doing a lot is comparing yourself to the lives of others, or you're judging them for living a life in a specific way. What would your higher self do the same? Now consciously make that switch. How would they think? How would they act? How would they show up? How would they do it? How would they feel their emotions? How would they show up to the world? Would they make it a priority to look at their own needs? Would they make it a priority to be a great friend, to be a great mother? Would they finally realize that they need to first prioritize themselves before they can give all the love to other people? I want you to really get into that feeling and know that this is a choice. You can choose right now. You can literally choose right now, okay, for the rest of the day, or for the rest of the week, or for tomorrow, whatever it is going to be. I'm going to challenge myself to be this higher version of myself, where I'm going to act, think, speak, and show up like this future version of myself. And this is so powerful to really make that conscious decision. Okay, I'm going to do this for the rest of the day. I make it my conscious decision to rethink what I'm thinking, and maybe also analyze a little bit about what you have done. And maybe by the end of the day, you can journal a bit about your experience, and you can realize, okay, these were certain thought patterns that came up over and over and over again, and I realized I need to learn to reframe them. Maybe you also realize that you started acting a different way. Because let's say you want to become a freelance photographer, and instead of just thinking about, okay, I want to do this, you stepped into into the identity of being this freelance photographer, and you did what they would do. Or whatever you want to become, like you want to become an influencer, you go girl, I'm going to support you. Then show up as that version. You have everything within you. You have everything within you, and it is not about making this complicated goal plan for the whole year of 2025, but it is about recognizing, who do I want to be? How do I want to feel? And how can I manifest this right now into my reality? Right here, right now, because let me tell you one thing. You have everything that you need already right here, right now. I am so proud of you. And if you need a little bit more help to kind of set intentions for 2025, for the ones who are actually listening to this podcast quite like on time, on January 9th, I'm going to host a Make 2025 Your Best Year workshop. You're going to find all the information in the show notes before. It's going to be at 6 p.m. I think it's going to take probably like 2 hours. It's going to be a really, really beautiful connection that we get to have all together. And it is a little bit about looking within. Okay, where are you right now? Where do you want to go? And we're going to do a meditation together to look like into that like future self. And it's going to be like about doing that identity shift and having a beautiful start to the new year. So all the information, as I said before, in the show notes below. And if you want to message me and you have a topic that you want to share with me or an episode that you would like, you can either comment down below, like on Spotify. It always means so much to me, like to get your opinion on the podcast and just everything in between. And you can also message me on Instagram at greta.webhofer, at greta.webhofer, if you want to send me a message privately and maybe ask me for advice, whatever it is. But thank you so much for being here, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Bye.